Hi everyone, my name is Ron. Welcome to the OpenLMIS demo videos. This is the fourth in our series. In this video we're going to create and submit a requisition. I'm currently logged in as a super user, which means I have rights to pretty much everything in the system. As we go through the steps, I'll try and explain what a normal user's experience would be. We'll go to the main menu and select Create a Requisition. Every user, including super user, has a home or base facility. I'm assigned to the hospital here, and I have rights or responsibilities to submit requisitions on 3 different programs. Let's go with the malaria program. What the system is showing me is that I still have to submit my requisitions for September and then October and November. It's asking me to do the September one before moving on to the subsequent periods. You can also see here we're on a monthly schedule for the malaria program. Let's get started on the requisition. All of the programs in this demo environment are set up with very streamlined product lists. For the malaria program, we have 3 products grouped in 3 different categories. You'll notice also you're able to segment products as full supply products versus non-full supply products. These are the products designated as full supply for the malaria program. You may recall from our last video where we talked about the configuration screens for setting up requisition forms. Each of the fields that were listed as options to include or exclude from the form now appear here as columns on the form that users are filling out: beginning balance, quantity received, etc. Notice also that the system has pre-populated my beginning balance from remaining balance or stock on hand from the last requisition I submitted. These numbers can be overridden. This does not allow the user to change historical data. The system will keep both values and make note of the fact that I've changed this. So let's say I did a recent stock count and find that I only have 700 on hand at the beginning of the period. I'll enter the total quantity received. I'm just making up numbers here. And total quantity consumed or dispensed, we'll say 9,000. And the system is telling me that's not possible. Could not have dispensed 9,000 when I only had this many to work with. Let's go back and correct that. The system is happy now, and it's calculated the remaining stock on hand 200. This is the calculated replenishment quantity, assuming 0 stockout days. Let's say in fact I had 5 stockout days. The system adjusts accordingly, and this particular R&R form was set up to allow users, the store in charge or the clinician, to request an alternate amount. I'm going to request 2,400, and it's asking me to enter an explanation for my supervisor. We'll say the rainy season is coming. Let's continue on with these other ones real quick. We'll just type in some numbers for expedience. Go with that. The system, this particular R&R form was set up to allow users to skip reporting on individual products. This is an optional field to include or exclude from the R&R form. If you require users to submit data on every one of the full supply products in the program, then you would uncheck the box on the configuration screen for this R&R form, such that this checkbox was not presented to users who are filling out the requisitions. We'll go ahead and fill it out real quick. 50, actually let's say we received 500 and we used 27 or dispensed 27. You'll notice I still have 496 on hand, and based at this consumption rate, the system has determined that I don't need a shipment. I'm more than adequately stocked. Let's go take a quick look now at non-full supply products. These are presented in categories. We'll select a category. Again, these are not necessarily pharmacologically correct. Simply for demonstration purposes, we'll select one of the products. I'm going to request 50, and a reason have had none for months. We'll add that to our requisition. We're done with non-full supply products. At this point, we've filled in everything on the form. It's time for us to submit our requisition. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Submit button. The system is asking me to confirm I'm done with the requisition and ready to submit it. Yes, done. And you'll see now the requisition has been successfully submitted. The normal workflow in the system is once a requisition is submitted, it goes to a supervisor, presumably at the facility, to authorize release of the requisition. In smaller facilities where there isn't a supervisor overseeing a lot of programs, the same person who creates and submits the requisition would likely have the authority to also authorize his own requisition. I'm going to look it over real quick. Everything looks good. At this point, I'm going to authorize the requisition. In larger facilities, a supervisor may be taking the step for authorizing the requisition. Requisition has been successfully authorized. At this point, the requisition now moves to a supervisor who's going to review and approve it. The supervisor designated to review malaria requisitions at this facility is going to receive a notification letting him know that there's work queued up for him. Let's go back and take a quick look at a couple of other requisition forms for these other programs just to show you how the variety maps out here. We're going to do a regular requisition for the Essential Meds program real quick. And you'll notice that at one point I did start working on my September requisition. It's been initiated, but it has not been completed. Let's go back, get to work on that. Real quick, I want to show you two things here. Let's say, again, we've pre-populated with the initial balance. Let's say we received 200. We dispensed 500. And we're going to report losses and adjustments. This particular R&R form has been configured to allow users to report losses and adjustments by type. The individual types here are customizable per your deployment. Let's say we transferred one out. I'm going to add that to my losses and adjustments. I'm done. And now it's asking me to finish what do I have on hand. Let's say I have 100, and it's telling me no, that can't be right. Check your arithmetic. 101 is the correct number. It's happy. Let's go back and take a real quick look at the R&R form for the ART program, just to show you the variations that are available in the system. ART. Here too, I've initiated the requisition but have not completed it yet. The R&R form for this program was set up to allow clinicians or stores in charge to enter the number of new patients on the program. So let's say I have, actually we'll go in first and say we received 200. Let's say we received 2,000. Remaining stock on hand at this point is 1,300. And number of new patients, let's say I had 12 new patients. OpenLMIS uses this information to determine how many people are going to be on long-term consumption of the product. Anytime there's a patient added to a long-term regimen, there's a step function in consumption. So OpenLMIS takes this into account in computing the new order quantity. You'll notice here, this is the calculated order quantity, the total cost for this line item. This particular program has been set up to track budgeting, and the system is warning me that I have exceeded my allocated budget. One other thing I want to show you real quick is the regimens form. We saw this in the last video that can be configured on a per program basis. This particular program is set up to capture regimen data, and you can see we have two different categories here. Those can be defined, custom defined per your programs. There might also be, say, PMTCT or geriatric ART care, and it's asking me to enter the number of patients currently on treatment, added, dropped, and any explanations. This concludes our video number 4. Thank you for watching.